Dangers in My Heart has concluded. That's the last episode. I'm so heartbroken, but thankfully, we have an announcement for a second season already. It is already in the books. It's January. The series will come back, so I'm not too heartbroken, but we do have 2 seasons without it. But still, I'm glad that they immediately announced another season and didn't leave us waiting to see if this ever continues. But dang, a really good ending to this season overall. And not that I got my big confession, but technically it was a big moment for Ichikawa, making a decision to say something that he's been wanting to say that he didn't realize that he wanted to say, which I think is really, really cool. But no, overall, really, really fantastic episode. Opening up with pretty much meeting the family. Yamada finally meets the family, and it was super cute, having this moment where they first bump into her, and she's just standing there, and the sister's going, oh my gosh, does she have a boyfriend? Because she's doing all this stuff that typically girls do for boyfriends. Hint, hint. It's so funny that it takes it so long before the sister finally clicks it. But again, technically she was being told by him that it was just a friend, not somebody that was in a relationship. And yes, they can assume that maybe it might be his friend, and additionally having another boyfriend. So she just connects the two of them. But good on the sister. The sister this episode was so freaking great. The entire episode, I'm like, this girl's great. I kind of mentioned it in the last impressions. I really do feel like the sister wants the best for her brother. And so having this moment where she pretty much just drags him to go see Yamada, again, in the perspective of a friend, and she wants to meet her and make a good first impressions, but at the same time, she's sort of setting up Ichikawa for a moment with her, dragging him away from the parents, all for the sake of her making that impression, but then realizing the moment they run into her and she's got that mouthful, I bought you some too, and then she realizes it later after inviting back to the house, oh my gosh, she was there for him. Holy crap, it finally clicks for the sister. Holy crap, he does have a chance with this girl, beats her head on the bowl. Super cute. But no, the house, the scene at the house was just absolutely priceless. We got 2 aspects at the house. One is the aspect that it's sort of showing this other side of Ichikawa to Yamada. Granted, she claims later on that she has seen all these pictures. What it's sort of opening the door up for is the past of Ichikawa. Essentially, what has created such a block in Ichikawa? What has made him close himself off to other people? That's the big question mark. And it seems like it all stemmed from this past that he had. We're going from the moment that he was essentially a really genius kid. He was good. Like, he was very smart. He was getting national awards. As he claims, those were his glory days. Then at some point, it seems to imply that he had these 2 friends, and those 2 friends went off to a private school. And it indicates that Ichikawa failed to enter that private school. And so he had to separate from his friends. And that sort of snowballs into him seemingly not wanting to meet new friends. I'm sure that we're later on probably going to get more details as to what happened here. Like, why did he fail? Was it because he had friends and he got away from his studies? What caused him to fail where his friends succeeded? But still, it is that aspect, and this is something I've personally faced. I moved several times at some point, and at some point you just don't want to meet people. Like, you've left these people that you've known your entire life and you're going somewhere else. It sucks. You don't want to meet people. But it all starts from the point that he brings this book to school, and it becomes his excuse. That's the block that we're revealing through these images of his past and sort of digging up. Because at some point, An goes, what about the school's outdoor events? Oh, he didn't go. He didn't go for a reason. He cut himself off from everybody. He didn't want to go out. He didn't want to be social or anything. And I think An at some point realizes that. He looks uncomfortable. But yes, and eventually the sister gets the clue. The sister gets the clue and just leaves. I love the keychain stuff too. The keychain stuff was great. The fact that she at some point realizes, oh, Ichikawa is trying to cover up the keychain. Okay, well, she leaves her keychain behind and says that she has some friends to go to, which, by all accounts so far, we've indicated the sister doesn't have friends. Again, that's that tragic similarity between Ichikawa and his sister. They technically are both similar in a lot of regards. They cut themselves off from others because they're afraid of getting hurt, expecting they can gain something and essentially have their hopes up and then have it destroyed. So her running off to her friends is obviously a big excuse to let him be alone with her. But then again, leaving the keychain behind was super good. And as she's leaving, it's so great. Yamada runs up and she thanks Yamada. Thanks for being his friend. So, oh, it's so good. It's so good. I started getting teary-eyed because it's like she's happy for her brother. She knows what her brother's going through, and she's so happy to see that he has somebody, even if it's just a friend, somebody that's obviously brightened up his life. She's happy. And yes, the other offset is that she's gorgeous and she seems like a charming person. So, of course, yeah, if you are even more than that, she's excited for her brother. And can I call you sister? Can I call you sister? Can I call you on? It's super cute. I love it. And again, like I said, leaving the keychain behind so that Yamada believes that they have pairing keychains. It turned from something like his sister being upset that he technically bought that for Yamada and turning it into, I'll help you two out. She's so good. The sister is so freaking good. But yeah, the scene in the bedroom is really where we're starting to kind of undig that aspect of Ichikawa's past, and this idea of you're seeing all these trophies, all these awards, and yes, it all being sort of his glory days. But additionally, his fascination with these murder books, which he obviously explains it to Yamada as being sort of a psychological thing. Like, he just is into psychology of murderers. And she's like, okay, well, that's great. She's excited about this idea of him being into something like psychology. Even though, again, we know it's not technically the case. This isn't exactly what he's out for, but still, she's trying to make the positive of the situation, trying to find something to discuss with him, make a connection. But then that's when the story gets dark, and we find out that, yes, Yamada is secretly a murderer, and she's trying to drop hints to Ichikawa to figure it out. No, I'm joking. No, the bed scene was great. Her reaching over for what is obviously the magazine that she is in, that he keeps under his sheets, and then he stops her. And it's such a great scene. Oh my gosh, dude, the shots were so fantastic. That embarrassment of the two of them, her shoving away, him thinking that he has messed up. He literally, truly, they translate it as that he's finished. But the wording in Japanese is actually, I'm dead. Like, this is it. This is the end of me. And it's so great that it so quickly snaps it back in the reality of it, that she's not mad at him. I'm sorry, I kept digging through your stuff. And she shoved him away because she's embarrassed and not ready for that, obviously. Not that I think that she believed that he was going to make that move, but she was just embarrassed. But still, she quickly shifts back into, yes, I still have an interest in you. Taking the pictures of him and running off with them, and then saying, you can come over my place and check out my yearbooks. That's Yamada. Things that he believes is going to essentially put her off or make her upset at him is never the case. Because she has a like for him, she's accepting and not assuming the worst in him. And he always believes that she's going to see the worst in him. It's so good. It was a beautiful scene too. The art was so gorgeous. But yes, that leads into the next day, which I think there's so much in the final segment of this episode. One is the aspect that as he's leaving, he sees the manga character again, the one that he sees in himself, and is sort of a representation of himself. So him not having a shirt on obviously means that Ichikawa wants to expose everything. Specifically in the Japanese dialogue, it's saying, expose your heart. Expose your heart to others. Which ended up, yes, technically being the case. Despite the fact that he's taking this book with him, it ends up being exactly what he needs to break through what he goes through later on. As he meets with Yamada, they go together. She puts the doggy thing on his neck, which I thought was super cute. It's got to be right up there so everybody knows that we have matching keychains. But additionally, when they're alone together behind the building, he finally comes to the realization. Oh, that's right. I want to be seen. Back in year 1, I didn't want to come to school, but now I don't hate it. Thanks to you. He's thanking Yamada. But I love this because this can be a simple love romance story where it's all because of you, because I love you, Daisuke, where everything's fixed because you, Daisuke, fixed me. No, Yamada's not accepting that responsibility. Like, no, I didn't do anything. You did it. Because you should be thanking yourself because you came here, thus you talked to everybody. Thus, everything was fixed. His excuse for never having friends was that book. But yet that book was his shield for not having friends, and thus his excuse. I can go to school now and not worry about not having friends because it's all because I'm into something weird. That was the curse that he placed upon himself from the very beginning. Then he realized at some point, no, I'm happy that I'm here. And Yamada is giving him credit for being there. You did it. You're not useless. It's a nice statement to make to somebody because it's acknowledging that in yourself you had the strength to do this. You're the one that fixed your own life. It's such a powerful statement that Yamada didn't just blindly accept what he said there. She corrected him in that he made it. And the final line is, I'm kind of curious of, it says what I wanted to say this whole time was thank you. And I'm wondering if that's the aspect that this whole time he's been wanting to say that he likes Yamada, but I think it's him acknowledging that there's something so much more than that, and that's the idea that he wanted to thank her. Thank her because technically she has shown him that his life isn't a failure, that he is not always alone, and that he can't meet friends. It's showing him that because of her existing with him, he realized that he is good enough, that he isn't just an outcast, and that he can make friends. And I think that's so much more to him right now than saying that he loves Yamada. I think that's what that's saying there, because for the last few episodes, especially ever since he was with Moiko, he said, I want to tell her that I like her. And I think he realized at some point there's something more important that I need to say to her, and that is that I thank her for being there. Thank her for everything she's done. But yeah, super cute going in there and Mocha sees him. You two did it or something and runs off. And yes, just to bookend the entire series, go to the original joke. Hand him an empty bag. I really do. I think that's the only thing I'm really mad about. This entire series, and we never got the answer as to why she keeps giving him trash. Why does she keep giving him trash? It's like this dorky little quirk about Yamada that I was hoping we get an answer to, but I guess we'll have to wait till the next season. But it is goofy. But she did correct it. No, I'm just kidding. Here's this, and gives him a candy. Still only gives him one candy, though. I was going to give you a whole bag. Oh, I'm just joking. Here's one. Super cute, though. Oh, such a good show. Such a good show. Oh, I forgot to mention, yes, the making the wish scene was super good, too. He only has one hand, and so she helps him out. What did you wish for? I didn't wish for anything. Yeah, I just wished for things to stay the same, and it made her pouty. That was super cute. And the covering the trinket segment was really good, too. Just my gosh, you're getting a little bit forward in here. Could you slow down? So good. Anyways, that's my thoughts on episode 12, the finale of season 1 of Dangers in My Heart. I'm glad I'm able to say season 1. I will probably do a review of this show. Obviously, it will be a spoiler-free, as I usually do with my reviews. But I'm looking forward to making that review because this series was absolutely, absolutely phenomenal. Cannot wait for a second season. I hope it keeps up. I hope it doesn't have the dreaded sequel rom-com curse that I've been having lately, where everything that's getting a sequel that's a rom-com ends up being like, woof. But this is technically more slice-of-life drama, romance than a typical rom-com, where it's more heavy comedy that ends up getting old after a while. So hopefully they get the same team and musician and everything involved with it because, gosh, the music was so good. But I hope you guys enjoyed my was somewhat weekly impressions. I kind of had a break before I came back and said I got to talk about this show. I thank you guys for checking out weekly for the impressions videos. If you like this video, make sure to hit that like button down below, comment, let me know what's thought of the episode, and if you're excited for the second season. Additionally, if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you get my content. I do news, reviews, first impressions, top list. If it's anime, it's pretty much here. Additionally, if you want to support the channel more, I have a Patreon link, tips link, super thanks, membership button down below. I greatly appreciate it. Support the channel. It means so much to me, and y'all take care.